Welcome back to the channel. And if you're new, welcome. I am your little darling narrator, and on this channel, I read stories. Not just any stories, but I think I read some really great stories for the young readers. And if you are not subscribed to this channel, I strongly recommend you go ahead and you subscribe, because all we do here are read good stories for the young readers. And if there's any story that you like, don't forget, hit that like button. That just helps this channel, and we appreciate all the support that we've been getting. So stay tuned. The name of this story is called New Tracks for Thomas, based on the Railway series by the Reverend W. Awdry. Early one morning, Sir Topham Hatt came to the train yard. "Good morning, Thomas," he said. "I have big news. We are adding a passenger train to one of the freight branch lines. Because you've been doing such a good job, we want you to pull the new train once a day." A new train? Thomas felt proud. There would be new tracks to ride on, a new platform to stop at, and a new station house to see. All for Thomas. "Of course, there will be more passengers," said Sir Topham Hatt, "and more work." "Oh, do not worry," Thomas told him in a boastful way. "I can do it. It will be easy." The other engines weren't so sure. "You must go slowly at first," Edward said. "You must listen to your driver and be careful not to get lost." Thomas was too excited to pay attention to old Edward. He might have trouble with new tracks, Thomas thought, but not me. I'm a really useful engine. That's why I am getting another station. The new passenger train was to start running the very next day. "This is an important event," Sir Topham Hatt told everyone. "People will be coming from miles around." Thomas wanted to look his best, so that afternoon he was carefully washed down. Then he got a bright paint job. "Now I look shiny and new," he said to Edward. "I look just the way a really useful engine should." The next day, when Thomas's paint was quite dry, his coaches Annie and Clarabelle got into place. The driver climbed into the cab, and they were off, clickety-clack. Thomas was heading for the new station. "Make sure you read the signs along the tracks," Sir Topham Hatt called to him. "Remember, Thomas, it is a new way for you to go." Edward shouted after Thomas, too. "Be careful," he said. "You don't want to lose your way." But Thomas wasn't listening. "Peep, peep," he said as he chugged along. "I know what to do. I know what to do." Soon, Thomas picked up speed. Clickety-clack, clickety-clack. "Slow down," said the driver. "We have to be sure we're going the right way." But Thomas only went quicker. He did not listen to Sir Topham Hatt. He did not listen to Edward. And he was not going to listen to his driver either. "Peep, peep, I know where to go," he said. "I know where to go." Now Thomas was going even faster. He whizzed past houses. He sped past farms and lakes. Clickety-clack, clickety-clack. Signs went by in a flash. "Slow down," his driver said again. "We must read the signs." But Thomas didn't stop to read them. He wanted to get to the station as fast as he could. He wanted everyone to know he was a really useful engine. Soon Thomas grew tired. He slowed down just a bit and looked all around the countryside. He saw a water tower and cows grazing in a meadow, but they didn't look familiar to him. "Oh my," said Thomas. "Where am I? I didn't listen to Sir Topham Hatt, Edward, or my driver. I didn't even read the signs. I wasn't careful at all." Clackety-clack, clackety-clack. Thomas came to a stop. He felt just awful. Sir Topham Hatt was waiting for him at the new railroad station with all the new passengers. And where was Thomas? Lost. "Maybe I'm not a really useful engine after all," Thomas said sadly. A big tear rolled down his cheek. Then Thomas sighed, and a puff of smoke billowed out his smokestack. "Is that you, Thomas?" cried a voice in the distance. It was Sir Topham Hatt, coming around the bend. "I saw your smoke. Now move along. Everything is ready." "Peep, peep," said Thomas. The railroad station was just down the track. Thomas started up once more. "How silly I am," thought Thomas. "Of course nothing looks familiar. I have never been here before. If only I had read the signs. Then I would have known I was going the right way all along." And Thomas hurried along the tracks, clackety-clack. "Hooray! Hooray!" the passengers shouted when they saw Thomas. Flags waved in the air, and a band began to play. Sir Topham Hatt said, "Everybody on board! All aboard, Thomas!" Thomas smiled. He was at the new railroad station, and just in time. But then Thomas looked at his driver. He looked at Sir Topham Hatt. They did not look pleased, and Thomas knew something still wasn't right. "I am sorry," he said to both of them. "I should have listened. I should have been more careful. Then I would have known I wasn't lost. I would have known I was going the right way all along." Back at the train yard, Thomas said the same thing to Edward. "I should have listened to you," he told his friend. "I should not have gone so quickly." Now Thomas was happy. He knew next time he'd do it right. Next time he'd be a really useful engine. And sure enough, Thomas was. Clickety-clack, clickety-clack. The following day, Thomas puffed carefully along the new tracks and headed straight to his new station. Well, that ends our story. And wouldn't you say we are knee-deep in takeaways? But have no fear. I'm only going to talk about one, the major one. Can you guess what it is? If you were thinking arrogance, you'd be right. Thomas had such an arrogance about the new station that he just would not listen to anyone else. Now, I'm not saying you shouldn't be confident, but what I'm saying is don't let that confidence border into arrogance. Do you know what that difference would be? Confidence says you are pretty, good at what you know, but you're open to learn more. Arrogance says, I know what I know, and I'm not going to listen to anything else but my own voice when it comes to this. So you see where the two don't really meet? They kind of cross the barriers and they're no longer, related to each other. That's what happened to Thomas. Thomas is obsessed with being a really useful engine, and he is. But because he has gotten some really great comments and feedback, it kind of made him, and well, it should make him feel good, but he let it go a little too far and ventured him into the land of arrogance. That's why he wouldn't listen to Mr. Top Hand Hat. He wouldn't listen to Edward. He didn't hear his own driver. And they all tried to tell him either one, don't get lost, slow down, read the signs. Thomas was so obsessed that he knows where he's going. He's not listening to no one because he has one goal in his mind, and that's getting to the new station, his new station. But once he realized he was going, and he kind of realized he didn't recognize anywhere he was. Now, at this point, he started to realize maybe I veered a little too far into arrogant land, which have maybe put me in a bad place because I don't recognize where I am. And he started to get a little nervous, and he started to get a little bit regretful of not listening. Then when he heard Sir Top Ham Hat, he realized he wasn't lost. He just didn't realize he was on the right track. He was going in the right direction, but because he had a closed mind, he wouldn't look at any signs to really confirm that that's what he was doing. But once he was able to realize what his mistake was, and see, that will help you. If you are in the land of arrogance, you can come out of it if you learn what puts you there. If you can open your mind up, realize your mistakes, you can easily correct it. So that was the major takeaway. And Thomas did learn. He apologized to everybody for, bringing them along to his land of arrogance. All's well that ended well. So until next time, my young readers, I am your little darling narrator, out.